Yo, what up, though? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Street Coder Nate, and I got another one for y'all. Okay, so today, what are we getting into? We are getting into creating our first HTML website. So, what does that mean? Basically, I'm about to show y'all how it really goes down creating HTML websites. So, before I gave y'all the information, and I think learning is about 10% getting the information in, and then the rest of the 90% is actively out here practicing it. So that's what we're about to do. We're about to look up some websites. Literally, I didn't even like, this is off the dome. Like, this is all freestyling. I'm gonna show y'all how I do it. Look up some websites, and then we're just gonna copy the HTML. What you'll see is that we're gonna need some CSS to make it look exactly like that website. So let's get into the HTML today. Bada boom, bada bang. Oh yeah, the drink of the day is a shake, fruit, frozen fruit, like berries and whatnot, and spinach and some other garden salad. Mix it up with some apple juice. Start your day off right. All right, let's get into the content. All right. So let's pull up Safari, Google Chrome for you if you off the Google Chrome tip. All right. And let's look up let's see, starter HTML projects. Okay. 10 interesting HTML project ideas. I'm literally looking this up with y'all. You feel me? You could self-taught learning. I'm all about self-taught learning. I mean, you can go there. Let's see. Geeks for Geeks usually got some good stuff. Let's see. Checking out Geeks for Geeks. My tribute page to Steve Jobs. Parallax website. We ain't there yet. We can do a landing page. A landing page is a good place to start. Full screen landing. Let's start off with a full screen landing page. This is a basic like static web page. I'll get to more details about static web pages in another video. But you see what this web page look like. Not too complicated. It's not too hard to make. What it looks like we have is a background image right here. It's taking up the full screen. Then we got the welcome to the beach, all that stuff right here. This is text that looks like it's on top of the background screen. We got a button. When we click the button, just reload the page. Then we got some text down here that's on the color background. Then we got some text right here that's on the color background. Text right here on the color background. So we got a couple things we should do with this one. I think this one's I believe this one's a good one to start off with our HTML skills. So let's hop into it. So how do I first start with the HTML? So this goes back to folder structure. So we about to create a new project. So let me open up my Finder, and if you're on a Windows, it is your File Explorer. It's a little file thing right at the bottom of the screen when you by the Windows. Check it out. It's literally the same thing. It's just called Finder on Mac. So let me bring it up here. All right. So we got the Finder right here, and we're gonna go into my documents. We got front end work. Remember, I named my front end work. This is where I'm doing all my front end work for the YouTube channel right now. And so I had an example project, and I had HTML tags project. Now I'm going to create a new folder and call it what is this one? HTML beginner site. Something like that. Beginner. Come on, Nate. Beginner _ site. All right. So that's what I just created. HTML _ beginner site. And now what I want to do is fire up Visual Studio Code. So I'm gonna go here, go VS Code, and now Visual Studio Code is firing up. And bring that up screen, and I have Visual Studio fired up. But as you can see, this says HTML tags. You see HTML tags underscore example. If we come back over to my Finder, you see HTML tags example, but I actually want to be inside of HTML beginner site. HTML tag example, got that index.html. You can see it right here. You can see it right there. That's not the one we want though. We want to be in here where there's no files. So how we do that is we're going to open, and I'm using Command O for open. We're going to open and go to my documents, go to front end work, HTML beginner site, and we're going to open that folder. Cool. Now that we have this folder open, let me tell you the basics of HTML. So an HTML, in order for HTML to show up on the browser, like right here, in order for this to show up on the browser, it needs to have an HTML document. And so you can kind of think of an HTML document as like a Microsoft Word document. You know, when you're about to write the paper and you like got to you got to open up Microsoft Word and start writing your paper. This is the same thing with the HTML document. It's called, but we usually title this document index.html. And so when you're writing your paper for class, you'll say whatever the paper name .docx or .pdf. You feel me? And then you can export it like that. So this .html extension that we about to put on this file will just tell the browser to not look at it as code, but to look at it as like images and text and whatnot. And so that's what we want to do when we want to create HTML files. And so that's what we're going to knock out first. So let's create an HTML file. So when I come into my Visual Studio Code, I'm going to open this up, make it a little bigger. You can see it. All right. And if you go to the top, so right here we got our file. All right, let's click off the start. We got our file explorer right here, and you can see that we're inside the HTML beginner site. There's no files here, and as you can see, there's no files there. So let's create one by pressing this plus button on the file. This is a plus folder. That's all you need to know right now for those two. And let's go index.html. We own that. Okay, we got it. So index.html. Remember, whatever you create in here shows up out here. So there we go, our index.html. So now, remember when I was telling you about HTML, you need your basic setup. You got to have your doc type, then you need your HTML tag, then you need the head and the body. So there's a shortcut in VS Code already. If you already using VS Code, is to say something like this. Oh wait, nope, my bad. Is to do it like, just say pound like that, and it will do the abbreviation. Use the shortcuts in Visual Studio Code. That will help you. Watch what it does. It writes all of that for me. I don't even have to write that by myself. And you see, this does the basic HTML for me. So I get my doc type HTML, I get my HTML file, or I get my HTML tag, and then my closing HTML tag. I got my head that got its metadata in it, and then I got my body. And remember, everything shows up in the body. I can start writing code up in the body. Here's this is a comment tag. Remember, going back to HTML tags on W3 Schools, this is a comment tag. So right here, I'm gonna leave a comment saying this is where all of the code will show up. Okay, cool. So in the title, okay, so remember the head tag is metadata about the body. So this is data about the body. And so if you see here, this is meta, and it says our char set is UTF-8. What does that mean? It's saying that we're going to use, inside the body, we're going to use a character set. So a US character set, meaning ABC, 1, 2, 3, maybe some Hispanic characters as well. You feel me? Or Latin characters as well. So that's what that's saying, UTF-8. That's what we're using that in the body. And then we got this meta HTTP query yada yada content IE. That's a good one. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. We're gonna get back to that one when I get to it. So and then we got the meta viewport content width and initial scale. So this is basically saying when we render when we show the HTML on a web page, you can show it on different screen sizes, and it will scale properly. And that's all data about the body. That's all data about the body. So that's why I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling you metadata, data about data, and the data being the body. And so here we go. And then we also have the title. So this is the title of this body, the title of this web page. And so let's make the title. Right now it says document. And let me show you where the title shows up in the web page. So if we double click here, this should open up a browser, and you will see the title shows up right here where it says document. You see full screen, landing, and then 10 projects and whatnot. The title shows up right there. And so we can actually manipulate the title and change it to, let's call it first, or what is it? First HTML website. Something like that. And now when we come back here, we have to refresh the page. So I use Command R, and now you see we have our first HTML website. We cooking, dog. We are cooking. We already starting to write HTML. So in the head, we see that we have metadata about the body, and then this title is also metadata about the body, but it actually does show up right in the tab. That's really cool and unique. You can also put a logo right here. I know you see these other logos. I'm gonna show you mine, NateBaker.me. I got my logo right here, and it says Nate Baker Online Coding Tour. Nate tours programming to students of all ages. That's what I got in mind. You know, I was trying to stretch mine out, let everybody know. So, so this is the first HTML website. Cool. So let's tap into what are we getting into. Let me increase that a little bit too, so y'all can see it. Yeah, that looks pretty good over there. Okay. So the first HTML website. So now we got to get into the body. Let's get into the body. So in the body, we have, this is where everything is going to show up at. And so now let's go back to the HTML. And now this is when we got to start thinking. And then when I say thinking, I'm like, people hate when I say that. But like, on some real, you got to start thinking, what is on this page? And so when my mind looks at a web page, I'm like, I break it down to the simplest forms. And so that's what you should start doing when you look at web pages. And so in my eyes, I see, okay, there's a background image. That's one element. We're going to need something in the background. Or we're going to need something to hold a background so that we can add this, what it looks like a title text, so maybe a H1. Then also this looks like a paragraph text, so, or this looks like smaller regular paragraph text, so we could probably need a P tag. And then here's a button, so we probably also gonna need a button. Okay, that's 4 elements just seeing right there. Then we going down here. I'm seeing how this has a different background than the bottom part, so it's probably a different section. So that's going to be a section or a div, if you will. And then in that div, there's some text inside that div. So in that div, we're going to have some text. And so I'm gonna keep going. And so then in that, there's another div that looks very similar to the div above, but actually the background color is the color of the text, and the color of the text is the background color of the other one. So it's just flipped. Okay, so we know that's 2 different divs. And so then we got this div that's down on the bottom. And this bottom part actually is another section. And so it has 3 parts. It has 3 columns in it. This section had 1 column, but this section now has 3 columns, as you can see, because it got 3 different background colors. I mean, it's doing 3 different things, 3 different sections. So this is how I'm starting to break it down in my head. And I know it's probably hard to like picture that in your head. So therefore, I'm gonna bring up my iPad and I'm gonna show you what I mean. I'm gonna try to do both of them on the screen at the same time. Well, I can see the screen. I'm gonna bring up my iPad for y'all. Where is this cursor at? All right, here we go. I'm bringing my iPad for y'all right now. Like there. Okay, cool. Let me see. Good notes. Dope. Okay. So Let me throw that on it. My bad. Gotta throw this on the charger real quick. That's what happened when you freestyle your videos. Okay. Already at 15. All right, so what do I mean? So I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the web page again. So let's say this is the web page. So now this is what I sketch it out. I always sketch my web pages out, or anything I code. I get it out my head. I try to see it in my head first, and then I sketch it out on my iPad, and then I code it up. That's how it's like a process. It's just a 3-step process in my head. See it in the head, right, or draw it out, code it up. And it would be some more steps to the draw it out part, but y'all about to see it. Okay, so here, visualize the website. And so the website had the background image, right? So we're gonna do that background image as this red like that. So it had the background image, but then it also had a block of text right here. It had another block of text right there, and then it had a button right here. So I said, okay, smooth. Then let's say this block of text is H1, and I said this block of text is P tag, and then I said this block of text, or this block is actually a button. Cool. And remember in the other videos, I said that we make sections in our HTML, so we group things together. So this would kind of be like what they call the hero section. This is what you see on the landing when you land on the page. This is what you see. You see the landing, and so you can see how I have the background image, and then I have the H1, and then I have the P, and I have the button. I have it all drawn out over here on the iPad, just disconnected. Give me a second. But I have it all drawn out just like that. My bad. 7249. Technical difficulties. But yeah, so popping up in seconds. We have it all drawn out like these. Have it the background image, and then the other or you have the background. Got the background image. Then you got the H1, and then you got the P tag and the button. And so we come back. My iPad has finally loaded. Come back over here. That's the broadcast. Come back over here, and it still say, okay, but so the iPad not loaded. And you can see we got the background image. Call that BGI for background image. We go MG. Background image like that. And so what I was saying is we like to, oh yeah, let's go back. We will call this part the hero section. Right, so this is the hero section, and the hero section is pretty much just is the landing. What is this page about? And then you scroll down and you start seeing stuff. So they created a hero section, and that hero section has a background image, a P tag, H1 tag, and a button. Okay, cool. So when we come back over to our to the iPad and we start to visualize this, well, we got our H1 tag, we got our P tag, we got our button, and we got a background image, but we need to visualize all of this in a container. And that container is what is that section. This is the whole hero section. And so we make these containers, we call these divs. And so we create a div, and then we nest different things inside of this to create different sections. So now we have this sectioned off. And then remember when I was talking about over here where we're gonna have these different. We have this section right here, and then we got this white background section. Then we got the bottom section that has that's broken up into 3 different sections. We're gonna be using the heck out these divs to create sections and whatnot. And so you just saw how we just created this big section at the beginning. And so what does that look like in code? Let me show you real quick, drawing it out. So we're trying to draw this out in code, in HTML code. What it would look like is something like this. You'll have your div like that, and inside the div, you'll have yeah. Inside the div, you will have the background image, bruh. The background image will be attached to this div. The div will be the container, so you have to attach the background image to that container, and then inside that container you'll have the H1, and then you'll have the text for the H1. You'll close off the H1. You'll have the P. You'll have the text for the P. You'll close off the P. You'll have the button. You have the text for the button. And close off the button. And then you'll close off the div. And you see that? We just created HTML section like that has our background image. It has our background image connected to our div. That means that however big this div grows, our background image is going to be behind it every time. Therefore, anything we nest inside of it, hence these elements, are going to sit on top of it, on top of that background image. So that's really, really neat. So, and then you see that we got our H1, our P, and our button. And that's all we need. And that's all inside the div. That's honestly how I look at web pages now. And literally in my head, I see code. And that's how simple as it gets. And so we're about to go over to the HTML right now and actually do that. So let's pull up our HTML file back over here. My bad. Pull up the HTML file. And let's get it cracking. So we said if we referring back, we said we need that div. We need one div right there. And then we need to put a div real quick. So let's hop back over here and let's add that div. So we'll go div like that. Visual Studio is cool because it'll add that it'll add the closing one for you. But remember, I said we're gonna attach the background image to the div. We're gonna attach the background image to the div, but we can't do that right now because we're gonna need CSS to do that. So what we're gonna do first is just lay the HTML out on it. So let's see. So let's just hold off on the background image and let's put the H1 and all the other stuff inside. So we need this H1, we need that P tag, and then we need that button inside the div. So let's hop back over to the code and let's do that. So we need that H1, and the H1 said, let's hop over here. The H1 said, welcome to the beach. Welcome to Miami. Okay, so we got the H1, and then we got a P tag, and the P tag said lorem. If you don't know what lorem it's just some random shit that people put in as a placeholder. It just became normal. Honestly, I'm about to change lorem espis to a rap lyric or something one day. Probably on me or something like that. All right. And then we need a button. And the button gonna say read more. Dope. Let's go check out our webpage. How much y'all want to bet that our webpage look nothing like this? I put 5 on it. I got 5 on it. Our webpage don't look like that. Why our page don't look like that? I don't know. Like this is what our page look like. This look nothing like this. Why doesn't it look like that? What? Like that's weird already. And so what I'm gonna do, instead of continuing to create this page that looks nothing like the page that we want to make it, I'm gonna just stop y'all and tell y'all we gonna need CSS for this. And so this is a great part to, this is a good place to kind of like stop real quick and segue to just saying you made it. You made it through making your first basic HTML website. Let's just go back real quick. This is a HTML website. You made your first basic website. You made the doc head or the doc type, you know, all the basic HTML stuff at the beginning. You changed the title. And then you created a div, and you understand what divs are. You know, we broke it down, figured out what it actually is as a section. We creating different sections. You see that we gonna need these sections later on when we needed to break up lower sections below. And so as websites get a bit more complicated, you can start thinking these divs are used all over the place to create different sections and whatnot. And so we created our first section, which was the hero section. And we gave it the H1, the P, and the button, and we said we also need a background image on the div so that we can make it look just like this. But what we see is that our website looks like this, and it looks like this because we need CSS. But I gotta get better with the controls. But nevertheless, you made it through your basic HTML website. You know how to code a basic HTML website. Even if it looks trash, or I won't call it trash, I don't call nobody's stuff trash, but even if it just looked basic, it's still, you coded that up yourself. But now I'm about to teach y'all some tips and tricks with CSS in these next couple videos so that we can make our website look just like this practice website and any other website on the internet. Y'all ready? Cool. So tap in with me, you know, Street Coder Nate. Follow me on the ground. Also subscribe. Tell your people subscribe. Shout me out. Follow me. Everything. I'll see y'all in the next video.